This is activity 4, missteps, which is the cool down activity for lesson 4, more balanced moves. And in this activity, you're supposed to find the errors that Lynn makes as she solves this equation. So Lynn solved the equation incorrectly, find the errors in her solution. What should her answer have been? And I'm going to change the subtracting a positive 3 to adding negative 3 here, and subtracting positive 17 to adding a negative 17 here. And the first step, she makes a mistake in the very first step. She adds 4 and the 17. Actually, she subtracts 4 minus 17 and gets a positive 13 as an answer. And I still think if she would make this change to adding a negative 17, she would not make this mistake. This should be negative 13. So now it's 4 plus a negative 17, which equals negative 13. So that's the first mistake. Now if you go to the next step, so if I keep this as a positive 26x, because 2x times a positive 13 is a positive 26x, then go down to here. This step is okay. This is 8x minus 24, or plus a negative 24, plus 7. And so 8x minus 17, or plus a negative 17. So it's okay down to here. But on this side, so now she's going to get rid of this 8x. And she adds a positive 8x to 26x. Well, that should be, she should actually add a negative 8x. So this should go from 26x to 18x, where she's getting rid of this 8x by adding a negative 8x. So this should be 26x plus a negative 8x. So this should be 18x. She goes the opposite, the wrong direction. But if I keep this correct now, so this should be negative 26x. If this were negative 13, this would be negative 26x. This would be negative 26x. And now when you add a negative 8x to a negative 26x, this is going to be negative 34x. So this is a negative 34x because you got rid of this 8x here. And to get rid of this coefficient, you multiply through by 1 over negative 34. So negative 17 times 1 over negative 34, that's a negative 17 over negative 34 right here. And this shows you why a negative divided by a negative is positive, because you can factor out the negative ones. So negative 1 divided by negative 1, those negative ones cancel. The 17s cancel. Remember, 34 is 2 times 17. And you're left with a positive 1/2. So this answer actually should be positive 1/2. Over here, you get rid of the negative 34 by multiplying by 1 over negative 34. So this becomes x. And so x equals positive 1/2. And that, in fact, is the correct answer. If you go back up here, 1/2 of 8 is 4. 4. Oh, this is negative 24. So 4 plus a negative 24 is a negative 20. Negative 20 plus 7 is negative 13. So this side is negative 13. And on this side, 2 times 1/2 is 1. And you're left with 4 plus a negative 17 is negative 13 on the right side. So if you replace x with a positive 1/2, you get negative 13 here. And replace this x with a positive 1/2, you get negative 13 here, confirming that 1/2 is, in fact, the solution to this equation.